Hello guys, Bizorke here. Today we're going to investigate how much damage knife does. I've noticed that there's a lot of people who have the assumption that knife does about 900 damage. And I'm not really sure where that number comes from or how it was measured, but we'll put that to the test in this video. Now I should say that I've already tested this out a few times yesterday, but I'm going to walk you through how I did that and give you the results in this video. Now obviously when a knife hits a player, it does the maximum amount of damage it can. It just takes away all your health and all your armor. But the knife actually does much more damage than that. And the way we're going to do that is by opening the developer console, by pressing F12, and then measuring how much damage knife does to a green user crate. This is really tricky to do when you're on a public server like this where there's a lot of people trying to kill you, but we should be able to manage. First, I just need to get away from all these other crates, because what's going to happen is when I place the crate, if I'm searching through the list of crates that are currently loaded, it's going to load a whole bunch of other crates that are on screen, and that's going to distort my results. So I just got to get away from there. I got to kill these guys. They don't know who they're messing with. Before I actually put down a crate, I'm going to show you the code that I'm going to run and test it right here where there are no crates. Now, I apologize for this being a little cluttered. I'm going to explain what everything is here. First of all, there's a bunch of errors on screen, and some of these are caused because I have an ad blocker, and there's a couple of WebSocket errors, and I'm not really sure what's causing the WebSocket errors, but it looks like it's a failed connection. This might actually be a bug in the code. I'm not really sure. The last line here is something that I pasted in that will get me the list of green crates that are on screen. Please do not feel overwhelmed if you don't understand what I'm about to say, but for completeness, I'm going to explain exactly what this does in plain English. Every crate that's on the screen, whether it's a user crate or a long crate or one of the regular large crates, are stored in a container named rb.list. And our goal is to go through the list and check for user crates. But for technical reasons that I don't want to dive too much into, it is not possible to loop through this list and check for each crate. A crude analogy is, imagine if you had a classroom where you had a bunch of students sitting in random desks. If the teacher wanted to call upon a student, that teacher could call upon the student by their name. The problem though is that we have a classroom full of students, but we don't know anyone's name. And that's where this function comes in, object.keys. What this does is it takes this object, which in our analogy is a classroom full of students where we don't know anyone's names, and it just returns everyone's names in a list. So you can think of this as like getting an attendance list. And this is just a feature of the programming language that we're using. Now that we have the list of names, we need to get the student that matches the name. And of course, in this analogy, a student represents a crate. And the way that we do that is with the map function. So the map function takes every name that's in the list and pulls up the object that that name refers to. For example, if you had a list of student names, you would go through each name and then call each student to the front of the classroom by their name one at a time. But we don't want everyone to come to the front of the classroom, right? We're only interested in user crates, the green crates that you create with the build ability. There are two other types of crates. There are the long blue crates, also known as long crates, and there are the beige crates, also known as just crates. Luckily, there is another feature built into JavaScript that allows us to filter the list down to what we really want. And obviously, you can see it right there. It's the filter command. And all I'm doing here is saying that for each of the crates that we originally pulled, we are only going to consider the ones that are user crates. And that's it. So that wasn't so bad. If I type that into the console, then it will return me the list of user crates that are currently loaded on my screen. So I punch that in, press enter, and as you can see, this is an empty list. It is a list of length 0, so there are no items in it. In other words, there were no user crates on the screen, which makes sense. Okay, let's try it again after adding a user crate. Now if I punch that command back in, you can see that there is one item in the list. And we can see here that the HP of this crate is 1000 and the maximum HP is 1000. All we got to do now is knife it. First things first, I want to make sure that nobody has shot at this crate. So I'm just going to check the health right now. Looks like it's still 1000. And so I'm going to carefully knife this thing. And we'll check the health again before this guy comes and screws things up. Yeah, here it is. So the HP is 8. So basically, out of 1000 health that this crate previously had, it is down to only 8 HP. So in this case, the knife did 992 damage. I've repeated this experiment several times and found that there is a little bit of randomness to it. I've got results anywhere from 991 to 993 damage. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments any suggestions you have for upcoming videos, if there's any other statistics that you would like me to measure, and I'll see what I could do. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Bizorke.